What's up, everybody who's already here? Scouting Free, Eric. You guys are going to have to tell me if this is working because it's the first time I've done it in a really long time. So let me know if the audio is good, if the video is good. And still playing around with this camera. You see me? Do you hear me? Alright, all good. Hopefully there's like this new option called ultra low latency on the I don't know, the thing here. So hopefully it is keeping up and there's not too much of a delay. Scouting Free, man, it's been a minute. Kristen, what's up? I do remember the coffee chat days. That was like when the live chat first started. That was crazy. What's up, Uncle Carlos? You get to see my office in person someday when you fly here. What's up, MK? Did you guys bring something to drink? See these new Busch Light cans? It's always a delay. Delay on my end. Hopefully it's not a delay on your end. What's up, Bam Bam? From the truck stop. That's what's up. What kind of speeds you guys get at the truck stops? Like, I'm assuming it's like Wi-Fi, or do you actually plug in? Hey, Carlos, you see that super chat button down there? You should click it and see what happens. You're working still? Oh, like a T-Mobile hotspot? Well, it says excellent connection on my side, so hopefully it's excellent. I'm going to keep trying to look at this camera, but the computer's down there. I'm going to have to move it so it's like up there so I can look into that screen. But hopefully the quality's okay. The lighting down here sucks, so I'll have to work on that. I was going to try to do it out by the fire pit, but number one, it's raining today, and number two, I realized that my Wi-Fi doesn't work all the way out there, so I have to get an extender. Because that would be sweet. I want to have some fireside chats. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Busch is all I drink here in St. Louis or Seattle. Which one? Yeah, Busch Light is nice, and it's kind of a step up from like Natural Light. Without all the calories, you know, because I don't need the extra calories. But step up from, or step down from regular Busch, whatever. If you guys watch Bill Gowdy, he's into the Busch bottles. St. Louis, cool. I got family members in St. Louis. So what we're going to do, I see there's 21 people in here. Hopefully people continue on joining. But sort of just wanted to do a Q&A, hangout, obviously. I wanted to just try these live features, make sure that it works, because I think the live is really cool. You guys get to have a little bit more personal connection. And also I can show you new gear that is coming up. Most of you know I just had twins. Well, they're like 19 months old now, but between the first year, which completely sucked, trying to work, and now we finally have been able to put them in daycare a couple days. They just started daycare last week. And they both came down with an ear infection and sinus infection last week. So now they couldn't go to daycare all week. So daycare days are supposed to be the days that, you know, I'm able to get some reviews done and some work done. But there's Kristen in the chat. She's got some reviews coming up too. I'll show you guys some of that gear in a minute. But yeah, Q&A, and then we are getting old. Q&A, and then just kind of show you guys what I have on deck. Always getting new gear. Some of it, you know, I review. Some of it I don't review. So this would be a good place to show you guys some of that stuff that, you know, you won't see probably a review on, and maybe why, you know, why I'm not going to do a review on it. But maybe just an hour or so, you know, see how it goes, and see, you know, how you guys like this sort of format. I kind of like that I can directly talk to people this way as well. Not a whole lot of notice today. So yeah, she is, Eric. Yep, I get her this weekend, so she's the one that doesn't live with me. So I will be getting here. I will getting her tomorrow, and she loves doing it. She loves taking the camera, and that's what kids like these days. Is YouTube. They all want to be a YouTuber. So that's YouTube's big into kids. Although I just saw a thing saying that they're gonna super cut down on the kids content because of all the spam and harassment and stuff like that goes on. So they're kind of having the kids channels are having their kind of adpocalypse right now, as we all had in the last year or two. My favorite color is probably green, and I like orange as well. I like yellow as well. I don't know. I like those brighter colors. I'd say green probably overall, and then a close second would be orange. Yeah, people are still working. I'm on the East Coast, so I try to make it late enough, so that the people on the West Coast, that's all they watch, isn't it? I mean, that's all my daughter has watched since she's 8 now. She just turned 8 last month, and it's all she watches. She never watched cartoons on TV really. Maybe when she was really little, she did, but other than that, it's been YouTube, and it's all touchscreen. I mean, even the twins now. I mean, they see me on my computer, they're just touching it all over the place. They think everything's a touchscreen. Favorite tarp? That's a tough question because there's so many different applications that I would take a different tarp. I can tell you what tarps I have, and that might give you a little indication of what I personally use. I still have the AquaQuest, their heavy-duty Defender tarps. I believe I have it in the large size and the medium size. Those are just bomb-proof. Those are for if you want a long-term shelter option, or maybe a winter shelter option. Those would be great. They're not going to be prone to sparks as much as the thinner stuff. I do have some Bushcraft USA, I believe, tarps. They're messed tarps. I have a few different sizes of those. Those are the ultralights. I have a Bushcraft Outfitters maybe, and it might not be that, I'm not sure, but it's like an all-in-one tarp. So I have it comes with the guy lines and the stakes. I have that in my get home bag just because it's kind of an all-in-one solution. And then I have the Bushcraft USA tarp poncho, or their messed poncho, which I also keep in the car. So that works great as a poncho, but also great as a tarp. So couple different versions for depending on what I'm going to do. Of course, if I take my hammock, I have my own tarp for that. Actually, I have 2 tarps for that. I have a winter tarp, and I have a very lightweight summer tarp for that. If I take a tent, they usually have flies, so I don't really take a tarp for that. And honestly, I just don't do too much camping. It's real buggy here, in the summertime. Even in late spring and early fall, it's real buggy, so it's hard to do just a setup on the ground. The only time I'd really ever want to do that with just a tarp and sleep on the ground would be in the winter, believe it or not, because it's just too buggy. So I'd rather take a freestanding tent and maybe put a tarp over it or something like that. Would I ever do a gear sale? I sell gear all the time, Eric. You should know this. On Meeting of the Prepared Minds, I sell gear all the time on there. What's up, Jason? Yeah, Sil Nylon has its pros and cons. If you get a 5x7 where there's no seam running down the center, then those work great, and those are the sizes that I have. But if you get a 10x10, like you're saying, generally you're going to have a seam, and you have to seam seal that, or else it will leak if it's Sil Nylon. Really lightweight, though. My favorite belt knife nowadays, I'm still in love with my Deering knife. It's going to be hard because I don't have a live preview. I do, but it's delayed. So, Deering knife from Jonathan Deering. This is probably still my all-time favorite belt knife. I went through a phase where I was into the larger choppers, but I don't use choppers anymore at all. I use an axe and then just a little axe or a saw, and then a little knife like this. So this is my baby right here. I have about 3 or 4 different Holy Grail items that I want. So hopefully I'll be able to get those. Anything playing with Tanner coming up? You guys are the best. I mean, you should see some B-roll. I have one video that was so bad that I didn't even upload it because it was just so. It was hilarious, but it was hilarious in a way that I really didn't want to put on my channel. You know, I pretty, you know, I have a family channel. I've been told a lot of people's kids watch this with them, and but it was a funny video. I think William Myers might have been there too, but it was sort of just a fireside video. We were roasting each other and stuff. I mean, it was pretty funny. KRF Customs out of Cali. He's on Facebook. Okay, yeah, that's cool. My grail items would be right now. I have them listed here. I want an Adventure Sworn Classic. It's sort of the classic bushcrafter knife. I want Wenger. He's a maker here in Michigan. I want one of his Liglaws. I believe that's our Ligaw. I'm not sure how to say it. One of his Wolverines. From Deering, I want a Woodchuck. I want something from Sergeant Edge Tools. He makes some really cool stuff. And then, or he might be the one that makes the angler or the swimmer knife. That's a really cool knife as well. Yeah, and I posted that thing about like doing subscriptions on my channel, but then I found out that like YouTube takes a cut, and so it really is no better than Patreon, and that's sort of the whole reason I didn't do Patreon, because you know, if you want to support me and my channel, you know, it should go directly to the creator. So I saw a guy who does kayak reviews do one of these live chats, and saw that you can do the super chat thing, which if you want to donate, you can click that button and it goes directly to the thing. So that's cool that YouTube's doing that they're integrating that in. So I had a lot of people say, you know, hey, you know, how can we support? I mean, literally the revenue on YouTube is about a third of what it used to be. But fortunately for, you know, those of us that are still doing this, we have other streams of revenue as far as you know, commissions and things like that. So when you guys purchase stuff through the Amazon stream, that's awesome. Oh, I'm coming. I know. I've been there before. I definitely want to go back. Most affordable full tang knife I would recommend. A Mora, probably. Not necessarily full tang, stick tang, but you know, just one of Mora's regular companion knives. I mean, you really can't beat it for the money. I actually have the Spark right here. I just did a review on this a couple days ago. It's the exact same as a companion knife, just has the little sparker on the side, and I've been using that daily, really. I've taken on both camping trips that I've done in the last month, and then outside, you know, I have my Hidden Woodsman little fire kit. And what's up, Darrow, 39 Camper? And then I take my this Spark. I mean, it's stainless. It's an awesome camp knife, awesome, you know, little prep knife, and having the sparker in the thing is awesome. So I'm a big fan of that. If I'm not really a Bark River nut. I've had a few of their knives. Beautiful knives, you know, just like I've had a few of LT Wright knives. I still have a few LT Wright knives. I like them for, you know, for a sort of semi-custom production type knife. There's something about Bark River knives. A lot of their handles are smooth. I don't really like that. I'm not a huge fan of the bolsters. A lot of their knives have the bolsters, and really not a fan of their sheaths. But, you know, obviously you can get a different sheath. But real nice knives. I still have my Genesis, I believe, or my GNS from LT Wright. I still have a Bushcrafter, I believe, from LT Wright. I have Chris Tanner's Jesmuk that I've never used. It's brand new, but I got it in a cool... Carlos with the 199 super chat. Does work. It does work. That's crazy. Carlos buys a ton of gear. So he's in Puerto Rico, and he weathered that storm, the hurricane. So he is definitely since then, I think, or even before then, but definitely since then, he's been prepping hardcore over there in Puerto Rico. But he buys a lot of gear from me. You generally with gear, I generally get most of it for free. So I'll review it, but you just, as a reviewer, that's the downside. And I think I've heard other people say this, like Everyday Tactical Vids, he mentioned it in his video, that as a reviewer, the only downside is that you don't get to really spend a whole lot of time with stuff that you really like. I have the stuff that I really like. I'm surrounded by it, but you kind of got to move on to the next time I go camping, I got to take a whole different set of gear. And a good story to that is let me grab it. I have a bunch of stuff from Thermarest coming up that I'm going to review. This is one of their sleeping bags. It's their Hyperion. I mean, it's a 900 fill down sleeping bag, super expensive bag. It compresses down to like nothing. I mean, you can literally get this down to like the size of a grapefruit. And it's a 32-degree bag. So I took this, paired that up with their new Neo Air Uberlight. If you guys are familiar with Thermarest, oh gosh, what is it? I have it as well. They're regular Neo Air. Like the yellowish one. So this is a new version. It's an even lighter version of that Neo Air. The original Neo Air is like twice as big, twice as long. So this one's a little bit lighter, and I wasn't comfortable. It would work great for someone that just needs ultralight, and that's all you need. Took this on my canoe camp, and wish I'd have took something else. Kristen! Is that a $2 or a $5? It says 2 and 5. She must be up there spending money. She's upstairs. That's what you call support right there. So I took it, and I was uncomfortable. I don't know if I'm getting old, but the pad was not as comfortable as the regular Neo Air in the sleeping bag. In order to make it so light, it was tight. And I just wasn't comfortable. So... again, am I just getting old and I prefer a thicker pad? Probably. Could I use it in a pinch? For sure. And would it be good for someone who is like doing ultralight back? I mean, check it out. I mean, these things are featherweight too. So there'll be a review coming up on that. The one thing I did like was this Airhead pillow. Awesome pillow. You can see the size of it. Compresses down to nothing. Weighs nothing. I think it's reasonably priced too, whereas those two are going to be more expensive because anytime you go super light, you go more expensive. So yeah, this Airhead pillow is awesome. It's on par with the Sea to Summit, what is it, the Aeros, I think, pillow. You prefer a textured grip on your scales blade? Yes, so do I. Unless it's a really nice blade like the D-ring there. My work knives, the ones that I beat up every day and use, I definitely prefer a textured thing. Well, maybe you're broke, Kristen. She said she tried to send 5 and it only sent 2. No Wilson wrap. Yeah, that's Tanner's thing. He can do that. The ridge rest. Yeah, the ridge rest is cool. That's the one that like accordions up, right? I have that. Soon. I got to do speaking of next trip, so I have some more gear. I don't know if you guys watched speaking of my daughter who did the pack from Deuter. I have 2 other packs from, let's see. Haven't even opened these yet, but these are from Mountainsmith. I just did the review on the Mountainsmith, the waterproof pack, their dry tour, which is an awesome pack. So these are the Mountainsmith Scream 50 liter, so they're going to be ultra light. These are their lightest weight backpacking packs. So they sent one for Kristen, which is a women's version. That's another thing that's cool about Mountainsmith is they have women's specific packs. So yeah, I haven't even touched this. So this is the Scream 50 women's in like this mint color, and then they sent a regular Scream 50 call this? Stone Gray. So 2 lightweight packs, so we'll get to try those out. So I have the Thermarest gear that I've already tried out. I'm probably going to go a little more comfortable than that on this trip. But we're going to shoot to show you guys 2 really ultralight options. This is the Robic material. So it's material that some other companies have started to use, or a lightweight material. You know, companies like the Hyperlight Ultra or the Hyperlight Mountain Gear, they use like a Dyneema, which is really lightweight. They've gotten away from the top, the lids. You know, you can take the lid. I know Granite Gear on their Crown VC60, I believe, took off the lid. But yeah, so that's going to be a trip coming up. Both of those. It won't let you, Carlos? That happened to me on one of the chats. Do you carry an EDC folder, and what knife are you carrying? I am actually carrying. I'm going to be getting up a lot and grabbing a lot of things. Hang on. Okay, so the knife I've been carrying lately is the Skeletool CX, the carbon fiber, because this has the upgraded 154 cm blade versus the regular Skeletool. So I picked this up and love it. I do a lot of fishing lately, so it's got pliers if I need it. I actually just used the screwdriver today to tighten a screw in my closet. The door was coming off. It's very minimal. I'd probably take this backpacking as well. Although having a pair of scissors is good when you're backpacking, just to cut things open. Like cordage, or like, you know, cut threads or something like that for repair. But you can do that with a knife as well. What's up, Woodinator? What's up, Mike? Is there going to be a get-together in the near future? I'd love to join and share with all of you. We've always talked about that. You know, I'm not against doing something like that. This, I guess, is the first step towards that, which is cool. And I don't know why it's not letting you do that. Kristen said it wasn't letting her either, Carlos. When I did it, I had to refresh or something like that and then move the little thing up, the little slider or whatever. I don't know. What channels do I watch the most? I watch Northern Seclusion, Joe and Zach Survival. It's a sort of a homesteady type guy that does homesteady type stuff. I watch Bill Gowdy, who is he just cooks outside all the time. I think he lives like in an like a RV park or a campground. I think he maybe manages the campground. Not real sure, but he's always at a campground and he's always cooking outdoors. So I kind of like watching his cooking videos. I watch 39 Camper. He's in the chat here. I watch some airplane stuff because I always wanted to be a pilot. So I watch like Premier One Driver. I watch a guy, and I don't, something Marconi or something like that. He flies bush planes in like Utah and Idaho, and that's really awesome. I watch Steve-O-One Canevo. He flies TBMs. Premier One Driver flies jets. So yeah, some flying channels. I watch some sailing channels. I watch a lot of different cooking channels. Sub for 3 years. That's awesome, man. MRE channels. Yep, I'm sub to what's his name? MRE1. Well, I don't know his name, but I'm sub to him. Yeah. Yep. Sub to him. Although yeah, I don't know if yeah, that's him. I think he's the one that does like all the old school ones, and he'll eat like all the rotten stuff. Yeah, I've been sub to him for a while. I'm sub to Carlisle. John, I believe his name, is a chef from Carlisle, England. He does a lot of like shelter building. Scorpion 310. Yep, that's an awesome tent. That's sort of before Snugpak sort of went downhill a little bit. They came out with a cheaper line of their stuff, and even their regular stuff sort of started to have like sewing issues. I don't know if they switched companies or switched fabrics or something. They also haven't had anything new in a long time except for their more budget line, but I didn't want to do their budget line. Yep, Carlisle 195 is sweet. Let me show you guys some stuff that I'm not going to review. I don't do negative reviews because it doesn't really do any good for anyone, and it's a waste of time. And I have so many. Snugpak pillow is a good one. Yep, I have so many reviews and good products coming in that it's hard to do the negative stuff. Let me grab. Say hi.
I can't see. Oh yeah, I'm delayed. I'm like, I'm not on yet. Hey guys, just wanted to come down here and say hi, and to interrupt his whole thing. Put the twins down. I hope everybody's having a good day. All right, back to living survival. It's funny it's delayed. I didn't realize it was delayed.
It is delayed. That is Mrs. Living Survival, right? I appreciate it. Yep. The one thing, Carlos, that you actually like, or have anyway, that I'm not reviewing is this Infinite Air. It's a wind-powered little turbine. Good in theory. It really is good in theory. I wanted to like it. But even with a fan, first of all, outside, I couldn't, even on a windy day, I couldn't get any wind to be able to even have this thing do sorts. You have to be like on a mountaintop for this thing to work. I put a box fan in front of it on its highest speed, and this thing was spinning like crazy. And I plugged it into my iPhone, and my iPhone actually went down in percentage instead of up. So I contacted them. They said it might be the cable, which I don't think is the case. They say it might be a bad generator, which, it might be. I don't know. So they're supposed to be sending me another one. I'll take a look at it, but not a huge fan of that. That thing came with like a clamp. And then what I do like from them, same company, and I probably will be doing a review on this, is just a crank. It's a hand crank. That's it. You crank it and it generates power. And actually, I was able to, like, within like 2 or 3 minutes, get a percent. So, like, these are for emergency only. They're sort of like the BioLite stove, where you're burning and you're not going to charge your phone 100% with something like this. But if your phone is dead, you will be able to get like a 3 to 5% charge, which would allow you to make a call, allow you to power your phone up, and and get some help if you needed that. So that's probably a good idea to have. Around the home, there's just too many other options that that you can have, from power banks to solar panels, to things like this, like we'll look at in a minute. These are really coming down in size, and these have a tremendous amount of power in them for like power outages, which is really the main thing that I face here in Michigan is, storms take down power lines, and we can be out without power for a week or so. So something like this would really be like more for like a car if you got stuck on the side of the road in middle of the night. Again, not necessarily something in Michigan that I would need, because there's really not too many spots in lower Michigan anyway that you can't, walk a mile and find somebody. So out in the, country areas, or, in the mountains or something like that, that would be a good idea to have in the car, because, your stuff could go dead and you need to make that emergency call. He did do a review on that, Eric, and I'm willing to bet because he got it free, as did I. He went ahead and I'm not so sure he really did a review. I mean, he set it on top of his Jeep and showed it spinning, and I think he had an iPad charged to it, but you got to have a lot of wind consistently. And again, it's just more efficient options. Like, I can lay a Goal Zero solar panel on the back deck and have my phone charged in like an hour or two, fully charged. There are good little crank radios, yep, and a lot of them have the little solar thing on the top too. It is a great idea. The other thing that I was going to review was like the water lily. I think Canadian Prepper did a review on that, the water lily. But again, it's like you got to have a fast moving stream. So it's not like, hey, I'm in an emergency, let me find a fast moving stream. It's just not practical in my opinion. I'd much rather have a solar panel that I could set out, or a solar panel that I could charge a power bank such as this. This is the new Anchor Powerhouse 200. They have a bigger one, which I didn't review because it was just a big clunking thing. And I actually like the Energy one a lot better for that size. But this thing is perfect. I actually took the, this is the second one. I still have the little wrap there on the front. Because this is my second one. I completely broke the first one. It was probably my fault, but you know, I figured this thing's kind of rugged. I mean, it's got a pretty rugged case to it. It's got a nice rubber handle up here. The form factor is great. It is a little heavy, but I took this camping, and I had it in my dry bag, and I don't know if it just got set down too hard on my kayak. I took it kayak camping because I completely shattered the front screen, and I think it still worked, but you couldn't see any of the readouts. You know, you couldn't see what percentage you were at. You couldn't see what was on, what was off. But pretty cool unit. You got like a DC output here. You've got a couple different USB outputs. You've got a standard AC 110 outlet there. And I mean, this thing will charge your devices like crazy. All American prepper, need to do some fishing. Yeah. I've been getting pretty good at fishing. I've been, ever since I got the kayaks, I've been going nuts. I do a lot of fishing. What's up, Jokey? I guess that's how you say it. MK, my family are just in St. Joe, Michigan. What part of Michigan? I live in Waterford, so it's St. Joe's more like by Kalamazoo, I believe. Yeah, 39 Camper is much closer to St. Joe. He's right by St. Joe, I believe. But I'm more closer to Detroit. So let's see. It does. Carlos says it does work in high wind like the beach coast. Okay, so maybe I do have a faulty one. We'll see when they send me another one. But best water solutions, the AeroSlim 125 water container. We have 20 of them at my house. They're only $5 each one. Much more expensive on Amazon. Yeah, anything that you can store water in long term is cool. I happen to have a well here. I actually have two wells. When we bought this property, that was one of the things that I wanted, was a well. And we have two wells. So I have generator backup, which I can power my well pump if the power goes out. I do want to get a hand pump, so if I'm completely out of power, say that, you know, power's out for a week or two at a time or something like that. I mean, you know, in that type of situation, whether you have a fire, a flood, tornado damage, wind damage in general, other than like a hurricane, you know, most of us have a family member or something that we can go stay at if things got, you know, real bad. So, you know, it's mostly survival fantasy, but you really, you know, it's definitely a good idea to be prepared. They just had it was like a oil leak or something. It wasn't a gas leak, but it was like an oil leak, and they had to evacuate like a whole neighborhood. So there's things like that can happen. Getting back into fishing too, I recently just made your own fishing lure out of a toothbrush. Yeah, that's always cool to experiment with stuff that you can catch fish on. That's a great thing about Michigan too, is I'm never a mile away from a river, lake, or stream, so water's really everywhere. So water to me isn't such a big concern. And it is the best part of prepping. Unless, you know, there was something that contaminated the water. You know, we don't have volcanoes here or anything like that. You know, Michigan is a pretty safe state as far as disaster goes. We get the random tornado. We get some pretty bad storms. You know, we get ice storms, and we get, you know, cold weather, and a lot of people think that's emergency, but if you've lived here a long time, then it's not really that big of a deal. 2-liter pop bottles, not moonshine. Yeah. Only thing with like thinner plastic like that is, and what's up, by the way, Prep. Only problem with thinner plastic like that is it can you know, degrade over time. Like if you especially have it in a warm place, you got to really have it in a cool place. So if you throw like water bottles in your car, for example, bad idea. You throw water bottles in your garage where it gets hot, bad idea. Over time, you'll start to see little flakes floating around in there, and that's basically the plastic breaking down. So better to get a little bit thicker, you know. But I mean, I have probably 10-gallon milk jugs of water down the basement here, but it stays nice and cool. And we go through them. That's the best thing you kind of want to do is rotate. So if you do have, if you do have a water supply, like we have, water here all the time, but we go through it. We'll take an older one, replace it with the newer one. Same with water bottles. Same with anything, really. What's up, Billy? Hopefully more live streams. I hope so, too. Guys, if you're just joining in, there's a super chat button down there that you guys can donate to the channel. Just letting you know it's there. It does go directly to me and the channel instead of some of the other options like Patreon, which I will never do. I want to do more live streams. I'm kind of showing off some of the stuff that I have coming up, and definitely question and answers. You keep water in the storage room, the 24 cases. Yeah, so like if you catch water on sale, like a lot of times like Staples and Office Max and those type stores will have like insane sales on water. I've caught it 2 or 3 times where you go in there and you get like a 24 case for like $2 if you buy 5 of them or something. So you buy $10 worth of water and you come home with, 5 24 packs of water. And so yeah, then just rotate them. Cold weather. What's up, Alaska? Cold weather's not a big deal. Yep, it's not. If you're used to it and you've lived in it, then it's really not that big of a deal. You have the warmer clothing. You know how to deal with the warmth. What's up, Astro Man? Sorry, my screen's pretty small there. In Israel, no, I've never been to Israel. Obviously, it's I'd love to go everywhere. I used to travel a lot before I had kids. But yeah, I'd love to go there. The farthest I've been is Europe, and I've been to the Caribbean a bunch of times. I've been to Puerto Rico. There's a lot of places here in the States I still want to go. London. Yellowknife would be sweet. I'd love to get up to Alaska. Another thing that I got up for review. I got this stuff today. I should have saved it. I didn't really know I was going to be doing this live chat, but this is the Gerber Spine, I believe is what they call it. They made it for backpackers or camping in general. And I thought it looked cool. I thought it was a cool looking knife. It's sort of got this rubberized texture on it, which is really nice. That's going to work really nice with wet hands. It's got this oversized lanyard hole, which I think is cool. You can throw some paracord around that. It's got this huge pocket clip on it. Not the sturdiest pocket clip. I can already tell right off the bat that I could probably... Well, let's try it. Maybe not. I mean, it's pretty springy. Okay, so a little bit better than I thought. When I first got this, I was like, man, you could just tap that on your side and it would just bend out. So it seems a little bit better than I thought. I'm not going to really reef on it, but it's made, you can see how tall that is. It's made to go on backpacks. So it's made to go on the, of course they got this thing all rigged up here. It's made to sort of go, let's see, do they have, yeah, I don't know, it's made to go on your backpack. At least that's one of the pictures that they have. So it's pretty lightweight, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's got a really nice retention to it. I think it comes in this sage color and a blue color. But, nice profile. Super sharp. Gerber stuff that I've been getting lately is super sharp, but just an all-around good camp knife, cooking knife, backup knife. So I thought that was pretty cool. So there'll be a review on that. And then another thing that I thought, I don't know, Eric, if it's U.S. made or not. Germany's still on my list. Yeah, I'd love to. I know my family members have gone there too. get home bag in your car is definitely a must. I always have my get home bag stocked in my car, and then I do have, you know, it's still good to have a bag, whether you consider it a bag, a bug out bag or not. You know, it's still good to have something prepared in case you do have to leave your house in the middle of the night due to a fire, flood, storm, you know, evacuation type event. So it definitely is good to, you know, not that you're necessarily going to bug out, even if you're just going to a relative's house or even if you're just going down the street or to a hotel. I know a lot of people with all this rain have had, you know, had to go to hotels for a week while they deal with the floodwaters and stuff, even around here. So it's good to have stuff packed for that, because sometimes you do have to leave in a hurry. Gerber, the steel that they're using, you'd have to look it up. I wish I had the packaging. The packaging's upstairs. It's just probably their 420 or something like that. Bought a night car Tarp and lost it about 8 months. Then bought a roast, this M50, and the on-off button stopped working within 3 weeks. The flashlight around the 100 range, that is reliable like a keychain flashlight. I like my Tarp. I actually have my Tarp right here. Yeah, I don't use it a whole lot. Like, I don't have, you know, I don't have it on my keychain. It's kind of a backup. And this is the tip 2, I think, which is the light itself. I think is a little bit better made. The clip sucks on that. The radio in the background is a Woxen. I think I did a review on this. It is dead at the moment. It's a KG UVD 1P, basically a Baofeng. Same thing. What's up, Sticky Fingers? What's up, Matt? Haven't seen you in quite a while. What's up, QRP? Yeah, it'll be posted as a video. Billy Jacobs, having a good kit always comes in handy. My wife makes fun that I'm paranoid, but it's not necessarily being paranoid, right? I mean, it's just, you know, even if you have, like, you know, bins and you have water treatment options, or you have candles even. You know, I know my mom as a kid, you know, always had a box of candles, and they came in useful. I mean, when the power went out, you always knew right where those candles were. You could go light some candles and you had light. Even just little things like that, having your batteries all in one spot, so you know, because just like that, if you go and, you know, go to use something and it's dead, what good is it? So it's good to have batteries. Pictured rock backpacking, yep, that'd be sweet. My carry gun right now is a Shield 9mm. Yeah, you live in Florida. Yeah, Florida has a lot more disasters than here. Modular assault pack. I've reviewed several different assault packs from Direct Action, which is, I think, Helicon, same company, or Helicon. I don't remember how you say it. I've definitely reviewed like some 511 packs, some Expedition packs, Vanquest packs, Triple Assault Gear packs, what else? Spec Ops, a lot of different packs. Gray Ghost gear, Tactical Tailor. So I'd have to see which modular assault pack you're talking about. Another piece of gear that I got today from Gerber, which seems pretty cool, is they call this their Complete. It's basically just a spork and a spoon. It's got a vegetable peeler on it, and it's got a can opener on it. But what I thought was cool about this is that it also works as a tongs. You will not find me camping without chicken wings usually, and chicken wings can be kind of hard to flip with a spork. Although I usually do it. The spork and the spoon are pretty flimsy. I mean, I could probably bend that. Actually, I know I could bend that. So it seems a little less durable than like titanium. There's just no thickness there. But what's cool about this is that you can configure it to be, see if I can remember how to do this here. You slide that in there, and then you can configure it to be tongs. So you have like a spatula, little spatula spoon type thing there for flipping. My daughter likes pancakes, and I've been without. Try flipping pancakes with a spork. That doesn't work. But you got a cool tongs here, so definitely something cool that you could flip steaks with, flip hamburgers with, flip roll my chicken wings. Definitely cool there. So you get the fork, the spoon, and then this little tool, which I'll probably lose right off the bat. And the thing that sucks about losing that is if you do lose that, they pretty much count on that to keep this stuff locked in place. It's sort of like the lock. So right off the bat, see if I can even get this back in here. There we go. See that it locks? Just clips in there. So without that, you're pretty screwed. Of course, you'd still have all these things independently, but I think it's pretty cool that it comes as a kit like that. Yeah, tongs are cool. Two other, GSI makes a pivot tong, which is really nice. But I like the fact that this is, their pivot tong is plastic on both ends. And generally, if I'm cooking over a fire. I'm not necessarily cooking in a titanium pan where you can get away with something like this or get away with the plastic. So that's why I like the one side of this at least is metal. So you could use that as your downside. So it'll probably be some pros and cons when I come out with that video. Model A2 assault pack. A little bit big. Go to food for a get home bag. Snacks. I classify getting home as 24 hours or less. So bag of nuts, bottle of water, water filter. Even if you had no food for a get home bag, that would be probably okay. Again, you're just relying on it to get to safety. That's not necessarily going to be home. Break down in the middle of the night, you want to have some gear with you, a flashlight, a headlamp. I've even put, I have to do an update. I've even put these little reflective things on there now that kind of make the pack reflective, so you could take them off if you wanted to be more stealth, but you could put them on to be, to basically show up more. I've always tried to go more lightweight, Carlos. That's kind of the... First of all, a lot of people ask, what should I buy? I don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Lighter weight gear is going to be more expensive. So start off with what you got, use it, and then find areas that you want to improve. So, whether it's camping, hiking, backpacking, or survival, or some sort of emergency preparedness, you want to have comfort items as well. So there's going to be places where you can sacrifice, that you're willing to sacrifice, and other places that you're not. So for example, I'm getting older, that pad's just not going to work for me. Even though it's ultra light, I'd rather take a pad that's twice as big, maybe a couple ounces heavier, just so I'm more comfortable. I'll take a pillow versus not taking a pillow, for example. But there's other areas that I could probably make lighter. So like cookware, for example, that's going to be something that's fairly heavy. I can go titanium there and make that lighter weight. So you can kind of, you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons, but you're not going to know those pros and cons unless you go out there and do it. Even though I've been camping 1,000 times, every single time I go, I come home with something that I want to change, or something that I could do differently, or something I didn't have. So it's a constant sort of upgrade, I guess you could call it. Shangri-La hip pouch sling pack. It's a nice pack for the price point. Yeah, any of the stuff that you guys want me to check out, definitely, you can post it on my Facebook, post links or whatever. And the Tokes tongs are cool. Yep, definitely the Tokes tongs are cool. I know Steve at Firebox Stove likes those and sells those on his website. Favorite movie? I have no idea. I don't know. The movie I probably watched the most is Shawshank Redemption. Just because it's like always good. I don't know. I like a lot of movies, a lot of different movies. I definitely don't have a favorite. Slim Jims, 3 packs, 9 cereal bars. Yep, stuff like that. It's perfect for a get-home bag. And the thing about having the snacks too is like, there's a lot of times when it's not get home. You might just be hungry. You might be stuck in traffic, or you might have just not eaten and you still have half an hour to go. Or even for me, take care, Matt. Thanks for joining in. You may, even maybe going up north 3-4 hours, and you want to get there, but you don't want to stop for a meal. It's nice to be able to just grab that beef jerky. It's nice to be able to just grab those snacks, and then you can replace them later. If you had like a full-on MRE, or if you had, a dehydrated meal or something like that, that's really not going to work in a pinch. So to me, having snacks is sort of better than have the other food in there if you want. As well, but I definitely think snacks are the way to go. What's up, Roland? What do I dislike the most about backpacking? Bugs. I hate bugs. They're just annoying. I mean, you get used to them, I guess. But like the flies here can be terrible. So like, you're hiking along and they're just constantly like buzzing your head, even with like a hat on. Summer backpacking's not really the greatest to me because it just I don't like the heat. Spring and fall are definitely better times for that for me. I'm a cold sleeper, so I like sleeping when it's not boiling hot as well. Favorite water filter is probably the Katadyn, the Hiker Pro, which is a great pump filter for for a group. So if you're camping with a group, kayak camping, for example, or car camping where you don't have a well pump or something, the Hiker Pro is a good filter. I've recently been using the Be Free stuff, which is basically like a pouch, and it just has the filter on the end. That works great for 1 or 2 people. The Hiker Pro just, it has that carbon element in it too, so it'll improve the taste. Generally, when I'm camping, I'm taking it from a Great Lake here in Michigan or a pretty decent river. So taste isn't too much of an option usually, or too much of a problem. So I can get away with just like a hollow fiber filter, like a Sawyer. But if I'm going to an area where I'm going to be drinking out of like a stagnant lake or something like that, definitely having that carbon element to it to improve the taste is a good thing to have. So, but the Katadyn stuff seems rock solid. MSR stuff is great. Like I have their Guardian filter, which filters chemicals too, which you really don't need. It's a great filter. My favorite water bottle would be the Grail. I use that all the time, even like kayaking. I'll just dip it on the side of the kayak, press it, and then I have water. That thing's fantastic. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Have you ever gone to a thrift store for camping or prepping gear? Yeah, I mean, definitely. I check them out. If I happen to be by one and have a minute, I go in and see if there's anything like cool on sale. Those videos are pretty cool videos where people have done like, put together a kit from a thrift store. And that's great stuff to start with. But again, as you do it more and more and more and more, you start to see the little differences in gear. And so that doesn't necessarily mean, sell what you got and buy the best. It just means that there's little improvements that you can make over time. Sell 2 things to get 1 thing, for example. Got to rotate the food out. Yep. Yeah, especially when it's in the hot and cold of the car. Especially here in Michigan, we usually, summer it stays fairly consistent, but spring and fall you have hotter days, cooler nights. Sunjack has a new solar panel. That's cool. They have pretty decent stuff. The Lucy lights, I've broken every Lucy light that I've had. They pop and don't hold air, or the light doesn't work for very long. The USB one I think is the bigger one. I think I had the emergency one, but even some people that I've been camping with have the bigger one with the USB, and it didn't last even a night being on. The Luminade ones aren't much better. I mean, I like their form factor better, and I think they're a little bit better built. I've never had one. Good to see you too, Mark. Take care. Um, they're nice to have too, or they seem a little bit better built, and I haven't popped them like I have the Lucy's. 10 miler was an eye opener for backpacking. Yep. My buddy is just getting into backpacking, and he's been asking me a whole bunch of questions, and he went into REI and he got fitted, and I said, just take a look at some of the stuff there, try on some stuff, but don't buy anything. Let me know before you buy something. So he's been gathering some gear. He wants to do backpacking. So he emailed me the other day, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to do this like 8 to 9 mile hike, or backpack this weekend. And I said, don't. And I said, don't start out with 8 to 9 miles. Unless it's like super flat playground or something that you're walking across, that's going to be tough for your first time in. Generally, you take a lot more than you need on your first backpacking trip. So, definitely, do like 4 or 5 miles maybe, especially if you have terrain. Do I like James Bond? I guess so. I like the movies, the original ones. Hey, what's up, Rodney from Hawaii? Glad you guys could join in. If any of you want to help support the channel, you can click that super chat button down there at the bottom. I think it's there. I don't know. I can't see it on my screen. And I'm also delayed a little bit on my screen. But hopefully I'm answering the questions as they come up. You guys have to let me know. I don't know. I see it and I answer it. So hopefully it's not like 10 minutes later. So I have some backpacks coming up. I have a bunch of stuff coming from Sea to Summit. I have some pads, sleeping bags. That's the trip I'm going to do with Kristen. I have some more knives coming in from a couple different companies. The Gerber stuff I have yet to do. I have an MSR tent that I've used a few times now that I have to review. Love that thing. It's expensive, but it's bomb proof. I do enjoy fishing for sure. What else do I have? Oh, this is one sweet light. I knew it right when I got it. It's the Claris, what is it, the E1, I think. Badass light. It's an 18650 light. You can see how small it is. I mean, it's literally not that much bigger than the battery. But it's super simple. It's got their dual tail cap design, which I love about Claris products. So it's just, you hold, and the buttons are so different. I think, several other companies have had dual tail switch lights, but it's hard to distinguish the lights. On Claris lights, it's so super simple because you have the prominent main button there, and then you have just this side button. And so you have your instant access to your low, and you have your instant access to your high. So the two modes that you're going to use most often, just a quick, a quick high and a quick low. And the low is low enough. I haven't looked up the specs, but it's got to be like 1 lumen or less. Perfect for when you have kids and you have to walk into their bedroom or something at night. It's such, it's less bright than like your phone's flashlight, which you can turn down pretty low, at least on the iPhone. But it's got this crazy like lens to it. But it's got a really nice beam. Can't probably really see. Turn it down a little bit, but it's got a really nice beam. So I'm looking forward to playing. I've been playing with it. Check out this deep carry pocket clip. It goes all the way up to the top. I mean, it's awesome. So for an 18650 light, which I thought nothing else could be done, Claris comes out with a really sweet light, and it's in their E series, which means it's going to be pretty inexpensive too. Yeah, Haywood, I did a 4 or 5 mile mountain bike course one time that I thought, okay, it's just a mountain bike. Yeah, I got a couple miles in on that and realized I probably should just go back. Never heard of it, John. Some people do videos on not taking a lot of gear and surviving Again, that's just survival fantasy to me. You know, I'm all about being efficient with your gear. You know, Canadian Prepper, love the guy, friend of mine. But his video showing him jumping on his truck with like a 50-pound ruck and saying that he could, you know, walk for miles and it's all about being fit. I don't necessarily agree. I don't think you need 10 knives. I don't think you need 10 flashlights. Um, you know, there's been the long time saying is that the more you know, the less you carry. I think Morris Kochanski said that. And it's true. The more skills you learn, the more comfortable you are being outdoors, the more comfortable you are with your gear. You know, you need a lot less. And as you learn what you like and don't like, and you can upgrade to lighter weight stuff, there's no reason anybody should be carrying a 50-pound pack. Ever. Unless you're in the military. So as far as, yeah, surviving on nothing, that to me is the other end of the spectrum. That to me is why shows like Naked and Afraid are just ridiculous in my opinion. Being naked is the number one thing you absolutely do not want to do in a survival situation. The first thing that you want to do is protect your core, your body. You know, so that show is ridiculous. And a lot of the other shows on TV are pretty entertaining, but surviving with less doesn't really make sense. With all the gears that you review, what brand favors most in terms of comfort, practicality, price, and form? I try to do reviews on, number one, stuff that not everyone else is doing. There seems to be, you know, Olight's one of them. Admittedly, they admit it. Through Night, you know, a lot of the flashlight manufacturers that just blast out products to you know, anyone with a channel that is willing to say something positive about it. I'm really careful. You know, I like Olight as a brand. I like Through Night as a brand. And there's other companies too that I like as brands, but just because they offer to send me something or even pay me to do a video, it has to be something that I really can recommend. That's the only time I'll show a product on my channel is if I've used it personally, I know the company or the brand behind it, and you know, I can recommend it. You know, there's never going to be an item that's pushed just because it's sent out or because it's paid for. You know, just like doing these live streams and getting donations and affiliate links, and you guys using my Amazon to purchase things, and all the ways that, you know, that income is generated. One of those ways I don't want to be is just free product or just, you know, just paying me to say something good about their product. Generally, the products that I show on my channel are products that I've gone after instead of the other way around. That pop-up pit, for example, awesome product. I saw that, I think I saw it like on Gear Junkie or something. I saw it on some other website. I thought it was real interesting. So I contacted the company. I said, hey, if you want to send me one, I'd love to show it to my audience. I'd love to play with it and check it out. About a week after I did the review, I got an email from one of the PR firms that I work with, because I work, a lot of companies I work direct with, and they send me product direct, or I'll work with their PR firm. You know, and they'll send me products from the company. So one of the PR firms that I do, that I get product from for several other brands, emailed me and said, hey, how did you find out about the pop-up pit? Because we just got that account, and you know, I looked you up, it'd be a perfect fit. And I said, well, I just, you know, I saw it somewhere, and so I emailed them, and they sent it directly. So that's what happens with a lot of my reviews. Claris, you know, they emailed me and said, hey, you did some videos a while back. You know, take a look at what we got. If anything interests you, you know, I could probably say, hey, send me all your new flashlights. But, you know, again, it's just, you know, I spent a lot of time digging through and seeing what's unique. And, you know, I saw this and I was like, dude, that's a super slim 18650 flashlight. It is rechargeable, but it's not rechargeable on the actual battery, so or on the actual light. So even though it does give you a status readout of your battery life, it's the battery that's actually rechargeable. So it's one of those ones where you pull out and you can plug a micro USB right into the battery. So that saves a ton of space on the light itself, and it also minimizes extra things that can go wrong with the light. You know, a lot of times those USB ports can get plugged with stuff if you use it in a sandy or dusty environment or a wet environment. deep carry pocket clip. So I mean, this is a win all day as far as a flashlight. So I'll go on there and I'll look and I'll find. I want to find unique items to show you guys. I want to find items that not everybody else is doing. And if you want to, if you're subscribed to channels that are like mine, when the when the products that they've kind of blanketed everybody with come out, because it seems like everybody launches a video on the same day. But what brands, getting back to your question, there's a lot of brands that I trust: Claris, Olight, Thunite, Phoenix, Nightcore, although I haven't done them a lot with lights. Thermarest, Sea to Summit, MSR, they're all great with the backpacking stuff. Maxpedition's great with the more tactical stuff. Knives, there's several different custom makers that I like. There's several different production. I love what Gerber's doing lately. They've shifted from the Bear Grylls ultra cheap to now they make items that are still budget, but items that are really cool. In my opinion, that are useful. Is this going to appeal to a bushcrafter? Probably not. But a backpacker or a hiker or somebody that just wants like a really good camp knife, that's who this is going to appeal to. So, and I like it. That's the bottom line, is I like it. So if I like it, I'll recommend it. Show you my gear room. Well, this is my office. We moved in here like almost 3 years ago. It's crazy. So I have a finished basement down here. I need to do a homestead update on Living Survival 2. If you guys aren't subscribed to Living Survival 2, that's my second channel where I do fishing videos, camping videos, cooking videos, and sort of family updates. Haven't done one in a while. I should probably do one because we completely finished this whole basement. So I sort of have my office right here. So on the table here is generally where sort of the stuff waiting to be reviewed goes. But on the other unfinished side, I do have, shelves with tons of gear. So yeah, possibly that'll come up in a future video maybe. Good exercise to people realize that you or a loved one may not survive a disaster. Scary to think about. Realistic possibility. Yep. Always. Tips for building out a gear room. Lots of gear all over the place. I have packs hung up on nails, like on the wall. So like I go 3 down or something like that, just next to each other. I like to have my packs hung just because they, seem to, or I'll stack them on a shelf, like my backpacking packs are stacked on a shelf where the dust can't get to them. You should always store your sleeping bags, not so much synthetic bags, but down sleeping bags. You shouldn't store them in their stuff sack like this. Generally, good sleeping bags will come with 2 stuff sacks. They'll come with like a large sort of laundry bag, and they'll come with the travel stuff sack. So it's okay to stuff it down and compress it down. When you get to camp, take it out, set it out, let it reinflate. But when you're at home for storage, you should always put it in the bigger bag. Or what you can do is generally sleeping bags will have a hook on the bottom or a hook on the top. You can just take a carabiner and clip it to inside of a closet, or you can hang it inside your closet on a hanger. When I lived in an apartment, I had like 4 or 5 sleeping bags in one closet just hanging from carabiners off the rack system in there. So it's always a good idea to store those outside of their bag, or at least in the bigger bag. They'll retain their loft better, especially with down bags. And then sleeping pads, it's kind of the same thing. Store those like maybe under a bed, inflated, so that they sort of retain their shape. Over time, that stuff can break down. So, what's up, John M.I. Woodsman? Oh, you're good. What's up, U.S. Hook? What's up, everybody that's in here? John. Anchor has a new desktop charger, 10-port, 60-watt charger, like a USB charger. Anchor makes pretty good stuff. 3 gear that I'll never leave home without, except watch, phone, and wallet. Yep, phone's always probably a good idea to have. Wallet, obviously. A knife. I never leave home without a knife. I'd say firearm, but I don't always take my firearm. I should probably, but I don't. So a knife, but lately I've just been carrying the Skeletool CX. Works great as a pocket knife. It's lightweight enough to have, you know, a lot of multi-tools are kind of too heavy for me, in my opinion, to sort of wear, you know, on in your pocket. This is the Free P2. This is the titanium charge, really heavy. What is this? The center drive, Gerber center drive. A bunch of multi-tools in this drawer, but you know, stuff like this, the little juice is kind of cool to carry. A Swiss Army knife is kind of cool to carry. Just because it kind of gives you the multi-use. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been fishing a lot, so having like you know, pliers on me is awesome. In case I forget my fishing pliers or something. So yeah, that's been my everyday carry lately, is the Skeletool. The CX though, because it has the better blade. Other than that, sunglasses. I hate being without sunglasses. Can't drive without sunglasses. And then really it just comes down to, I have a get home bag in my car. So, you know, I have a way to cook. I have a way to filter water. I have, you know, for me it's I made an acronym called BASICS. It used to be BASIC, but I changed it to BASICS. So basically pretty similar. All right, take care, Roland. Pretty similar to Dave Canterbury's like 5 C's, but mine is BASICS. So it's blade, aid, shelter, ignition, container, and then snacks would be the S. That's what I wouldn't leave home without. In the car anyway. So a blade, you know, a multi-tool or a regular blade. I have a fixed blade, a multi-tool, you know, because I have a little toolkit in my get home bag. So there's several blades there. Aid, I have a first aid kit. Shelter, I have tarps and, you know, cordage. That all falls under shelter. Ignition, so I have a lighter, I have tinder, several different ways to start fire. Container, I have a stainless steel container that I can put over a fire or collect water with. And then snacks. Kind of went over that earlier, got to have the snacks. What's up, Savage? So yeah, we're at an hour 12 here, so I kind of planned for like maybe an hour. So, you know, I just wanted to sort of get a feel of if you guys, you know, kind of like this format. Maybe I can do a weekly live chat, and I can do it from, you know, different places. Don't necessarily have to do it from down here. As I mentioned in the beginning, I sort of wanted to do it out by the fire, but I'll have to figure out Wi-Fi out there. But I sort of wanted to figure out the quality and the audio, and it seems to be working pretty good. So don't leave home without personal defense item, Altoids, medical tin, Celox, and pocket knife. Yeah. Any idea when Milspec, Monkey, and Tactical Tailor would do a collab again? Those are some of the products that I still have. I still have my small tactical tailor pack, and I have my large, what is it, the Boss Beaver pack. That dude's really cool. I can email him, and he always is real quick to get back to me, and he's always really cool with sending me products. So I can ask, because yeah, that I would love to see a Tactical Tailor. I don't know if they still do, but they used to do the sewing, I believe, for Maxpedition. Do a cooking wings live. Yeah, see, that's what I want to do. I want to do like an outdoors version. So I know I can make it work, because right now I'm actually on a webcam. I know I can make it work. It's just a matter of having the good enough. My Wi-Fi falls off when I'm out there, so I'll have to get like a repeater. Top 10 list, best survival channel. Yeah, there's been a few of those. A lot of times those are just put out to, I don't know, get views or something. They like put a, you know, it's the same reason if you go to like Google and you Google best anything. you know, best backpack, best, you know, kayak. But, you know, you're going to get like the top 20 results are just going to be weirdo websites that just put together a list and then have like Amazon links, and generally they're all going to be the same product or the same format. So it's unfortunate that you know, you got to weed through a bunch of you know, things that people put together just to sort of use what other people have done to sort of get views and stuff. Smith & Wesson or the Glock. I do want to get a Glock 19 again, and I probably do prefer that. I had a 40 caliber Glock, and that's what I traded in to get the M&P 9. I like the M&P 9, but you know, Glocks, in my opinion, can go through just about everything. I shoot both really well, so they're both really good, in my opinion. I appreciate it, Haywood. Hickok 45. Nope, I stopped watching him. I mean, I have watched him in the past. I'm just not subscribed to him. Same with Demolition Ranch. I don't know. Probably a lot like my channel. The stuff just gets old. I mean, pretty much what I do is the same thing, just on different gear. So I've had that debate with myself a lot. That's why I kind of started the second channel to do, you know, to do just some different videos, the fishing, the hunting, the camping, the, you know, the cooking. I thought about putting those on this channel as well, but I just do so many reviews that I guess in my own kind of OCD mind, it was better to separate the two. But I still go back and forth, you know, should I do more, you know, just regular personal type stuff on this channel because I have a bigger following, or should I continue to just kind of separate it? And, you know, I don't know. A lot of people that actively watch this channel actively watch the other channel as well. So, which frame? The Pack Mule? Okay, yeah. That thing's awesome. That thing's definitely awesome. A lot of channels, too, have gone way more like clickbaity, and like Wrangler Star, in my opinion, used to have great videos. Now his videos are, you know, he does do that. He decided, instead of just doing the homesteady type videos, he did have a second channel at first, and then he sort of combined the two, and now you never know what you're going to get. It's like you're going to get him building something, but instead of putting like part 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is what I think he should do, he like clickbaits every single one. So like what he's doing right now is like a butcher block do-it-yourself workbench. So he'll have like the cheapest workbench for $200, and then he'll do like building your own workbench DIY, and then he'll have like, you know, the most epic cheapest workbench. You know, instead of just doing it chronologically and normally like someone who's really actually interested in that content would want it, he's been going with the you know, he's been going with the clickbait. So I really lost a lot of interest in his videos since he started doing that. That's sort of why I like Joe and Zach Survival and Northern Seclusion, because it's raw. It's basically just him doing cool projects around the house. Nothing wrong with making money, you know, but he also has been doing like the cheapest products on Amazon, and everybody's like, oh yeah, that's cool to see you, you know, do these cheapest products on Amazon. But anyone that has an Amazon affiliate account knows that he's making a lot of money just off showing something stupid with the cheapest product on Amazon, and then people buy that like crazy. So nothing against the guy, you know, he's doing what he has to do to make money. I mean, we all pretty much have to do what we have to do to make money now that YouTube has taken a lot of it away from us. But I don't know, you know, it's hard to put that on your audience, which a lot of channels I think do. Or they'll give special content or special preference to like Patreon or something like that. And that's why I'll just never do Patreon, because you wouldn't get anything special with Patreon, because I don't know, my videos have always been free, and they always will be free. You know, if you want to donate something through a chat like this, or if you want to buy something through my Amazon link, cool. You know, that's awesome. But, you know, to have like a Patreon, especially since like Patreon's getting a cut, and then to like give preferential treatment to the people that pay, I'll never do that. I want my content to be the same for everyone. Yeah, you know, it's something I go back with, Savage, back and forth. Do I put on here? I've sort of got a good separation now, though, because, you know, what I didn't want to do is have people lose interest with what I originally started doing, which is, you know, high-end, you know, good gear reviews. I want to stick with that. So, you know, a lot of other channels that I've personally lost interest in, it is because they've added different things. So, to me, you know, if you want to watch gear reviews on this channel, awesome. And if you want to see more of a personal side of me and what I do for fun and, you know, just some other, you know, other stuff, maybe, you know, test, you know, a lot of times you'll see Easter eggs in my other videos because I'll be using a product that is coming up or something for review. Yeah. Thanks, Haywood. Thanks for all the chat and everything. Definitely, I'm going to do this again. It's cool to actually connect with people that are currently watching my channel. You know, you get a lot of people that, yeah, a lot of time on Twitch. Outdoor gear review, yep. Iridium's cool as well. What's up, Jay? I just forgot what I was going to say. What's up, Never More Fuzzy? Yeah, I'm wondering, that was another question of mine, is what time to do these chats. So, you know, I think like the 7, 8 o'clock probably is good for Eastern time, because then people on the West Coast are, you know, are just getting off work. Probably be better at night than like a morning. But so yeah, so hopefully if I continue to do a format like this, yeah, he does a lot of milsurp stuff for sure. Yep, that's me too now with the twins. Yep, it's 8:30 here. Yeah, oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is my number one source of, you see, entertainment channels on YouTube, like the gaming channels, the popular vlog channels, beauty channels, kids channels, all those entertainment type channels, they get their views up front. So they get, you know, that's it. People go to their channel, they watch the content, and then they never come back to it. Channels like mine, I don't get the views up front unless it's like a review that for some reason gets a ton of, you know, some of mine will go up in the hundreds of thousands and some of them won't get any views. It's just, I don't know how that works, but my number one source of traffic is through Google search or through YouTube search. So rather than being recommended through YouTube like a lot of the entertainment channels are, mine come off search because it's products. So, you know, it's good and bad. The bad part is that generally the income that you make off a video is generally the first, like, you know, lump of views. So if people are watching your video right when it comes out, they're commenting, they're thumbing up or thumbing it down, doesn't matter. That's when your revenue is going to be the highest. But yeah, so I get views over time. So like, you know, if I review the Claris E1, you know, I'm going to get that first wave of people that subscribe and get notifications and actively watch my channel and want to see what I'm doing next. You know, they'll be that first wave. But then, you know, anyone that searches for the Claris E1, whether it comes out in a magazine, they see it, you know, on another channel, or they're, you know, just searching for this particular light, chances are my video is going to come up, you know, within the top 5 on Google for a particular product. So sort of a double-edged sword. I'd love to get the views up front like Canadian Prepper does with his his doom and gloom type videos. That's entertaining to a lot of people, so he gets a lot of views up front. I get him on the back end. So unfortunately, getting him on the back end doesn't pay as well as getting him on the front end. I don't carry pepper spray. I carry a sidearm. Most of your audience is Twitch. Find that your peak viewership earnings are around 11 a.m. Yeah. 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Airsoft channels. Yeah, I've been hit in the face with paintballs before. That doesn't feel too good. So anyway, guys, is there any more questions that anyone has before I sign off here? Coming up on an hour and a half. I sort of wanted to keep it to an hour and a half. It's awesome that all you guys joined in. If you do want to donate, there's that money symbol below that you can click that. And any donation is definitely appreciated. I'm definitely going to do more of these streams. It seemed, I enjoyed doing it for sure. I almost enjoyed doing this more than the reviews, because it's sort of just sit and talk and answer the questions that you actually like. What's up, Wolfpack? Favorite videos to make and which are the hardest? The easiest are the flashlight videos, and I know you didn't ask that, but the easiest are they're not my favorite. I hate doing flashlight videos because I do a lot of them, and I try to space them out. But those are definitely the easiest because I've seen 1,000 flashlights. I can pick up a flashlight just like the Claris here, and I know what I like and don't like right off the bat. So other than that, it's basically just showing the brightness, which you really can't show that great on video anyway. So these are probably the easiest and quickest. My favorite gear reviews are probably gear that I didn't maybe have a high expectation for and then kind of blew me away, like that pop-up pit that I did a few videos back. I thought it looked cool, and I've reviewed other products similar to that before, like the Solo stove and the BioLite stove and the Yuko, I forget what they even call it now, but the little folding grill stove. But the second I got that and used it on our camping trip, right away, like all 5 of us that were sitting right there were like, that's a sweet product, and that thing was light enough to carry in on a kayak, light enough for car camping, and it's got a huge cooking surface. It works really well because it uses the same principle as like the BioLite or any kind of gasifier stove, because it draws the air from the, not necessarily a gasifier because it doesn't have that second burn, but it draws the air efficiently from that mesh screen on the bottom. We loaded it up with a ton of wood. We burned it super hot, and it held up, through all that. Very easy to put away, very easy to take out and use, quick. So I think those are sort of my favorite reviews to do, is the ones that sort of just kind of, are like, wow, that's like really sweet, and I didn't expect that. Those are fun to do because I can, I think I'm probably more enthusiastic about those when I do them. As far as ones that I don't like to do, the ones that like are weather dependent, so like shelters, like I have this tent to do, and it's just been so wet and crappy out that I haven't had a chance to like do the setup part of it. I have a lot of B-roll for it, but I haven't done the actual review. So there's things like that kind of sit on the list for a while. That Agawa Canyon saw that I have, I really like the saw, but for some reason that was just one that I just didn't really care about doing. I wasn't, hey, here's this saw that works really good that I can cut some wood with, and here's the pros and cons versus a Silky. And I guess it's the ones that don't have a lot of talking points, and you have to try to make that like a 10-minute video. So for example, it's like this thing, I think it's really cool, and I'm going to get some good B-roll, and I already know the pros and cons that I'm going to say about it. but you know, this one, the only way I can make that a 10-minute video is by doing a cooking video. So I'll probably do some wings with this and show the tongs, and that's cool. You know, at least I'll have some content there. I really try to put actual use and actual content instead of just sitting here at my desk and unboxing this and all you see is my hands, and it's like, oh, this is cool, and look at this, and this is neat, and I'm fumbling through because I've never used it before. You know, there's a lot of channels out there like that, so if that's what interests you, go watch those channels. But you know, so I really try to put a lot of effort into it, and sometimes it's not, you know, not some, yeah, the Yuko flat pack, that's what I was talking about. A Schrade Jesmic. What's a Schrade Jesmic? You mean the Jessica X? Schrade Jethro? No, I traded that a long time ago for something else. I'm like a celebrity, haha, that's funny. Old timer pocket knife, yep. Actually, Buck just became a sort of a friend of the channel, so I should be doing some Buck stuff, which is cool. Again, you know, they have 1,000 knives, but I'm going to be really choosy. I haven't reviewed anything Schrade since they sold the company, or aren't Schrade anymore. That's when I cut off all Schrade. Yeah, it's been raining like crazy, that's right. How far ahead am I on videos? I'm not ahead at all. Normally you see the video the day that I do it. 9 times, I mean, other than B-roll, because as I just mentioned, I like to do a lot of B-roll. So if I'm out camping, I'm going to get footage of that, knowing that that's going to go into my review later. But other than, are you trying to sneak in here? Other than that, a lot of times I'll shoot the video, the main portion of the video, throw in all that B-roll, and then you'll see it that night. So as far as like videos that I have up right now, I have B-roll for a lot of videos that are upcoming, but I don't have any done. Like the tent, for example, I have B-roll of that, of showing camping a couple times, but you know, I want to show the actual setup and takedown, so that's the part I have to film yet. But then you'll see it that day, usually, or the day after. Any more questions, guys? Appreciate everyone stopping in for the chat. This was awesome. Awesome for me. Hopefully it was awesome for you. Dual streaming on Twitch. Yeah, I actually did gaming for a little while. I did PUBG and did some Xbox gaming. There's actually an Xbox right behind me here. I had the green screen. I had, you know, I had everything. The little HD streaming box and everything. So I was set up to do that. Did it for a while on Mixer, actually, through Xbox. I didn't do Twitch because I actually like the Mixer format better. But that got old kind of quick. Yeah, the Jesmic is actually an LT Wright design. Alright guys, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the chat here. Hour and 33 minutes. Again, I appreciate everyone stopping by. I appreciate everyone that donated using that super chat button. I'm going to be having some more live streams. Hopefully I'll be able to do it. Hopefully I'll be able to do it, you know, once a week maybe. John and my woodsman, we got to get together. We're going on a camping trip too for sure. Definitely fall camping is coming, and that's my favorite time to camp. So yeah, have a good night everybody, and thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys later.